All right, shalom. Shalom. Sorry we late. Let me make sure everything good. Hold up. Send this notification out. Y'all put a 7 in the chat if y'all can hear me and it don't look like it's buffering and nothing like that. So I can make sure we ain't having the same problems we had last time. Drop a 7 in the chat for me. Shalom, shalom. All right, cool. Gonna wait for the brother to get up in here and we will begin. Shalom, y'all, shalom. While I'm waiting on the brother, a couple housekeeping things. Y'all can click the link in the description section. Subscribe to the Patreon. Obviously, brother's been working hard on that. Got the podcast and all that other type of stuff. The hidden content that you're not gonna get on this channel, obviously, will always be posted on the Patreon. So you can be sure to subscribe to that. Check that out. Also, when you subscribe, depending on the subscription, you also get a t-shirt and a video, right, from the brothers, basically thanking you for your donation and your support of the camp. We missed last week because brothers was in Baltimore, if you saw, with the Watchmen. So, shout out to them opening a school. This brother was with us. So it was cool. You know what I'm saying? But we back now. Friday we told y'all that we had to strike against the channel, but we were able to get it back. So Mosai helped us out. So that's it, man. Without further ado, y'all see the title. It's another milk lesson. We're gonna be talking about the covenants today. Quick impromptu lesson, nothing too deep. It's gonna be milk, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, milk that y'all need. A lot of people don't go over what we're gonna talk about today. So all right. Looks like my mom is in the chat. All right. So what you gonna need for this lesson? What you usually will need, right? You got your apocryphal concordance, got your Strong's concordance, got your trusty notepad that you're gonna write notes on, and you got your pen or your pencil that you're gonna write the notes with, right? If you need a highlighter for your Bible, get that. So brothers are saying that their screens is flashing and stuff. Can somebody confirm? Y'all put a 7 in the chat if everything looks good and it sounds good. One more time for me before we get started. All right, I look good on your side? Everything look good?
Yeah, on my laptop. On my phone, you just flickered a bit.
We're gonna do this tonight. Is it flickering? Like you can't see it? I didn't even get a notification. That's
like if somebody was turning the light switch on and off.
Okay, I do see it pausing a little bit. Well, we're gonna see if it's acting up. Yeah, I can see it's acting up. All right, I might have to move to the other room. Tired of this internet, yo. All right, give me a second. Wait, everybody else is saying we're good.
Yeah, it's still good. It's just due to
so
flicker.
Are we good? Okay. Well, y'all let me know in the comment section if anything get too bad where y'all can't understand it. I'll make sure I move. In the meantime, we're going to stay here then. All right. So without further ado, brother, if you could give me Genesis chapter 6, verse 18. See if we can get through it quick while my internet lasts. Seems like when it get late, it start to act stupid.
Come. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 6. You said 6, verse 18. 6, verse 8.
Yeah, come.
18 or 8?
Chapter 6, verse 18. All right.
Come. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 18. But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee.
Hold up. I already see it. I see we messing up already. I can see it. It's skipping now. Hold on, bro. Y'all give me a minute. Uh,
Okay, just get out of one a second and return back to the screen. I guess he transferred rooms. I was writing down my precept. Give him a second to come back to the screen. Yasha Raw. Tawada for joining them with us because I missed our Milk Monday. You know, he kind of surprised me with it today. I was cheesing ear to ear. Big old monkey with a banana smile. I ain't gonna get too much into the lesson because the other one gonna bring it out. But if you bear with me, I do have a precept. Right, while he get back, I got a precept, right? Book of 1 Chronicles 16, verse 13. It said, O ye seed of Israel, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen ones. Right? So even here in the Chronicles, Most High saying we are the chosen, right? Verse 14. He is Yahweh, our Father. His judgments are in all the earth. Be ye mindful always of his covenant, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, even of the covenant which he made with Abraham, and of his oath unto Isaac, and have confirmed the same to Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. Right? So I don't want bringing out covenants. I don't want to go too far because I don't know how he's bringing it out. So I just wanted to bring in the precept according to the scripture. This covenant that Israel had with the Most High is everlasting, right? Just like how Isaiah 45 and 17 says that Israel shall be saved with an everlasting salvation, world without end. So this Bible is only speaking about Yahweh, Yahweh Shah, and Israel, his chosen. Can't get around it. That's right. Can't get around it. It's all through the scriptures, right? It's all kinds of precepts. Salaki. I got Banyam. I got children in here. They don't like to knock. Right? But because we have this everlasting covenant with our Heavenly Father, right? I'm gonna bring out Psalms 119 and 9. Say, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word. Right? So y'all see the troubling times the world or the state of the planet Earth, right? It's reaching the place of chaoticness, right? disturbedness, right? Distortion, right? Increase in confusion. They got shows coming out that's super perverted, you know. It's baffling. And the crazy thing is, it's actually the number 8 show on Netflix, which means a lot of people are watching it. Me, myself, and I didn't watch it. I see the clips on YouTube or little previews that come with ads, but that was enough for me, and I chose not to watch it. Right. So being as though with all that being said, uh, we need to cleanse our ways, as I brought out in Psalms 119 and 9. Okay, you back out of one?
I hope so. How I look?
You looking swell.
All right. Hold on, dude. Keep talking, all right? 2 more seconds.
Con. Right. Got another precept for y'all. It's the book of Leviticus.
You ain't got to go into the Leviticus. We'll hold that.
Con.
Okay. All right. Go back to Genesis chapter 6, verse 18. Good precept, too, by the way.
Con. That's the book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 18. But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee.
Right. So this is what first thing we're gonna do is go over the history of the covenants, basically, right? So I want to show you guys the multiple covenants that have been around throughout the Bible, and you know who they were for, obviously, as the title states. So this over here is lucky. All right. So go ahead, continue on that. Read the verse 22.
Come, verse 19. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind, 2 of every sort shall come until thee, to keep them alive. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah according to all that the Most High commanded him, so did he.
Keep going.
That's 22. That's the end of that. Go to 7.
Oh, okay, no, it's lucky. Yeah, that's it. All right, so as you see, the first covenant, as it's stated in verse 18, right? It says he will establish his covenant. So this is the beginning of covenants in the Bible, and it's with Noah, right? So obviously, we're gonna get into what the covenant was. Let's go to Genesis 9 and start at verse 1.
That's the book of Genesis, chapter 9 and verse 1. And the Most High blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth.
Right. So now the flood has happened. He's telling them to be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered.
Right. Go ahead and jump to verse 8.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 9 and verse 8. And the Most High spake unto Noah and to his sons with him, saying, and I, behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your seed after you.
Right. So he's now going to establish his covenant with Noah and his seed after him. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth.
So the main thing I'm trying to show you guys here is how Noah received the covenant. His covenant was slightly different than the one that was given to Abraham. And the one that was given to Abraham is what was passed down from Isaac through Jacob, right? Or I should say from Abraham to Isaac through Jacob. So That's what this is, right? So a lot of people are, a lot of the Christians, I should say, they they start off with the whole, we're all sons of Abraham, and you know, Abraham's father of all nations. Through Abraham, all the nations shall be blessed, all that type of stuff, right? So the thing is, uh, the blessing that Abraham got for all nations wasn't the covenants, right? The covenant that he made was specifically for Abraham through Isaac and Jacob. We're going to explain that, but I wanted to run through the history of the covenants themselves, right? Biblical covenants themselves. Because the covenant that we're about to read with Noah is the covenant of the Most High not flooding the earth anymore, right? He's
Con,
about to read to you why we have the rainbow, right? Which the LGBTQXYZ has stolen, right? So this is significant of that covenant. And from there we're going to move on to the biblical covenants, which can basically signify who salvation is for. So go ahead, continue on that.
this verse 11. And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood.
Right. So that's the covenant that he established with Noah, right? That he won't be cutting off the earth anymore. He won't be cutting off the people on the earth with a flood. That's not gonna happen no more, right? Go ahead.
Con. Neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth.
Come on.
And the Most High said, this is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations.
Right. So this covenant is going to be around for perpetual generations, for many generations, forever, right? For the generations forever. He's never going to flood the earth again, right? The next time he's going to render his anger with flames or rebuke of fire, right? This time it's not going to be with water. So he like to this day, is holding true to this covenant that he made with Noah, right? Even though Noah's not on the earth anymore, he's still holding true to this covenant. And this covenant was made with Noah and all three of his sons and all of their descendants and all of the animals that was on the ship, right? Go ahead.
Con. Verse 13. I do set my bow in the cloud,
Mm-hmm.
and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth.
Right? The rainbow. That's the bow in the cloud, right? When you look up, when it's raining real hard, and it's usually when it's raining real hard, right? After a nice hard rain, whether it's a little sun shower or whatever it is, right? But when it rained hard, afterwards, you're gonna look into your horizon, you're gonna see in the clouds it's gonna be what? A rainbow, right? That's the Most High. It must have rained hard when it, when he was about to flood the earth, or when he did flood the earth, I should say. So it's basically significant of that, right? Even though it rains real hard, it might flood a little bit where you at. He's not going to flood the earth, right? He's not going to cut off the perpetual generations of the sons of Noah by way of water anymore. And the rainbow is significant of that. And we still see it in the sky to this day. So it proves that he held true to covenant. Keep reading.
Con. Just Genesis 9:14. And it shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth that the bow shall be seen in the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh.
Right.
And the water shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh.
Con. Somebody said there's a slight bug going on in the feed. Okay, cool. All right, good. All right, go ahead. Select.
Con. Verse 16. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between the Most High and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And the Most High said unto Noah, this is the token of the covenant, which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth.
So this is the token of the covenant right here, right? The rainbow in the sky, right? That's the ribbon in the sky for the Most High's love of all the people on the planet Earth. That's what it is. Because he's not going to flood the earth no more. He won't cut off man anymore with water, right? So that's a covenant that he made. And it still stands to this very day, right? Let's go to Genesis chapter 17. Let's see what's being done here.
From the top.
Yeah, start at verse 1.
Con, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 1.
Brief history of the covenants. That's what you're getting right quick. Go ahead.
Verse 1. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, Yahweh appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Power. Walk before me and be thou perfect.
So look, people saying we can't be perfect. We can't be perfect. We can't do this, that, and the third. He's telling Abraham to be perfect, right? He said, I'm the Most High, God Almighty, right? I'm Allah Shad Yah, and you need to walk before me and be perfect. So, you know what I'm saying? This is a commandment that he gave to Abraham, by the way, right? Proof that Abraham had laws and commandments that he had to follow. And he obviously followed those laws and commandments, right? Which means that James wasn't lying when he said that. So, putting that out there, it's right there in your face. So, keep reading.
Verse 2. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly.
So now he's talking about his covenant that he's going to make between Abraham, right? One of the sons of Noah through Shem, right? Or Sham. So go ahead.
Verse 3. And Abram fell on his face, and the Most High talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
Right? So you're going to be a father of many nations. Why? Because there's a whole lot of people that come from Abraham, right? He's a father of many nations. He has Esau, right? He got all the 12 tribes. He got Ishmael, right? Ain't Midian up there? We got that's a lot of people right there.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people right there. So, I mean, he's a father of many nations, right? But still, he's not the father of every nation on the planet. You understand what I'm saying? So, all the people on the earth being blessed didn't really mean what they thought it mean, even in this sense, because he's not a father to every nation on the planet. He's a father of many nations, right? But even still, him being a father of many nations, Most High is going to specify clearly in the book of Genesis that the covenant that he's going to make is only going to be with one of the sons of Abraham, right? Go ahead, keep reading.
Book of Genesis 17, verse 5. Neither shall thy name anymore be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee.
Right. So Abraham, right? That's what he is. He's the father of many nations. Go ahead. Father of many. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee.
Right. Kings are going to come out of you, right? The kings of Midian, the kings of Ishmael, right? Ishmael had 12 princes. The kings of the world, right? The 12 tribes of Israel, right? The current king of the world, the one who's the wicked that's ruling the earth right now, Esau. He's a son of Abraham, right? So these are the things that we see. You even got our cousins, right? Lot's children, Moab and Ammon. You feel me? They're kind of considered in the realm of Abraham too, because Lot is related to him. So a lot of people like to throw them in the mix as well. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee and their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee.
Right, to thy seed after thee. He's not saying to the seeds after thee, but to thy seed. He's going to specify. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God.
Right, because he chose this land, right? The one pit that he chose was Jerusalem. At the time, it was the land of Canaan, and he was going to give it to the Israelites once they, follow his law, statutes, and commandments. And he brings them out by the land of Egypt. We're going to get into all of that, but he's basically specifying everything now, right? The Most High knew how everything was going to go. He knew how everything was going to be played out. People are like, if the Most High knew how everything was going to happen, why did he make it happen that way? Well, it's just the way it played out, right? He basically explained to you in the Bible, throughout the whole Bible, how it was going to play out. He told you in Genesis that they was going to go off, right? He literally told Abraham that your kids is going to serve 400 years in a land that they know it's not. You know what I'm saying? We're going to read it. So he's explaining all this to them, right? We're going to get into it a little bit later, but even in the book of Deuteronomy, everybody on this call should know Deuteronomy 28 by now, right? So you go into Deuteronomy. He's letting them know in 28:1, these are the blessings that you're going to get if you guys follow my law, statutes, commandments. And just a couple verses later, 14 to be exact, by the time he gets to verse 15, right, he's giving them curses. So 14 verses isn't a lot of speech. It's not a lot of talking that you have to do to get 14 verses. So, Moses knew off rip that there was going to be things that we did to make the Most High happy, and he was going to reward us for it. And there were going to be things that we did to piss the Most High off, and he was going to punish us for it, right? He explained it in the book of Leviticus chapter 26 before Deuteronomy. We're going to get into that too. He explains it in Leviticus 26. If you guys, walk in my ways, this is what you're going to get. If you walk contrary to me, this is what you're going to get. In Deuteronomy 28, Deuteronomy is the second law. So he reiterated it again. So he did the same thing in Genesis. He's been the same way the whole time. The Most High doesn't change. So that's just what it is. And today we're going to prove that it was like that with the covenants too. It was always known who the covenants were for, what the covenants were going to be, what they were going to be about, and that Israel wasn't going to follow them, and that they were going to have to come back and, be put through trials and tribulations to see who was going to be the kings of the earth ruling in the last day. It's always been on this. So keep reading. We're going to read the whole chapter, basically. We're going to read the verse 22.
That's the Genesis 17, verse 9. And the Most High said unto Abraham, thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations.
Come on.
This is my covenant, which ye shall keep.
Right. So now he's about to give you the covenant that he's going to give to Abraham, right? To pass down to the seed that comes after him, right? So technically, if you want to be technical, this part of the covenant was supposed to be for the seed, right? So at this time, it sounds like he's mentioning, Moab need to get circumcised. Well, that's what the covenant's going to be. You're going to see. So Esau, Midian, Ishmael, all of them would need to be circumcised, right? So, and I actually don't know. I haven't actually looked into this. I probably should have did that before. But and somebody could put it in the chat if you know. But I don't know if Muslims are required to be circumcised or not. I haven't actually looked into that ever, so I don't know. But according to this, if you not going into the specification and you're trying to just make it a broad thing like the heathen do, like the Christian church does, you know what I'm saying? Like even the Muslims do, right? And say that everybody's supposed to be blessed through Abraham. Well, Abraham was given a covenant for all of his seed. And I know that there's Muslims that ain't circumcised. I know that there's Edomites that ain't circumcised. You know what I'm saying? So let's just keep reading. Let's see what the covenant was. Just to be sure it's what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And this is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised.
Damn. So every man child among them shall be circumcised, right? So just looking at this, if this is talking about all of his children, technically the only ones that still keep this law is really the Israelites, because other people would tell you, you know what I'm saying? I know Ishmaelites. A lot of them straight up let you know we're not circumcised, right? Esau still has they have fights at the hospitals. They got comment boards, all type of stuff. You can go look it up about how they don't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's Western culture. Why? Because the Israelites are in the West right now. So they've made it a thing to be circumcised here in America. But when you go to all the other places where the white man rules, they don't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's not a thing. So keep going.
Verse 11. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. And
so the token between the covenant, or the proof of the covenant, I should say, right, between the Most High and the children of Israel, is the beginning of it, is that they be circumcised, right? He's going to put a specific rule on this commandment that's being given to Abraham and all his children, as to if they don't follow it, something certain is going to happen to them. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button too, because brothers and sisters ain't getting notifications. I still don't have a notification for this video. So y'all hit the like button, Baba Kasha. Go ahead, I'll keep reading.
Verse 12. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of that seed.
Right. So everybody's got to be circumcised. Go ahead.
He that is born in thy house and he that is bought with thy money must needs be circumcised. And my
Right.
covenant.
So whether they're born in your house, it's like you. Whether they're born in your house or they're a slave that you've bought, right? A bondwoman, bondman, maid servant, manservant, whatever it is, right? They all got to be circumcised. Go ahead.
And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant.
And so now the covenant is going to be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant, right? Go ahead.
Verse 14. And the uncircumcised man child whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul will be cut off from his people.
That soul will be cut off from his people, right? So he's talking about his people, right? So he's talking about all of Abraham's children. Let's be broad here, right? Let's be completely broad like the Christians do, right? Let's include everybody. Let's make it universal, right? So all the sons of Abraham that ain't circumcised is going to be cut off from their people. They don't even get to serve slavery in the kingdom. They cut off. It's a dub. You're done. You know what I'm saying? So keep going.
He have broken my covenant. And the Most High said unto Abraham, as for Sarah, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarah, but Sarah shall her name be.
Why is her name going to be Sarah?
And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her.
Yeah, a son also of her, right? So now he's about to specify what the covenant is going to be about. Go ahead.
Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her.
Now, here's the thing, right? It says kings of people shall be of her. Sarah's the main wife of Abraham, right? Abraham's supposed to be the father of many nations, right? Sarah's only going to have one son by Abraham, right? And that son is going to be a father of many kings, right? The kings of the earth, if you want to be technical. So Isaac, being who he is, or who he's going to be, I should say, because he's not here yet, but him being who he's going to become, the father to Jacob, who would be the progenitor of the Israelites, right? The nation of kings and priests on the earth. That would mean that the only kings they was talking about here would be the kings that come from Isaac, right? So he ain't talking about Ishmael here. He ain't talking about Midian. We ain't talking about nobody except Isaac's children. Go ahead.
Verse 17. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed, and he said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old?
All right. So now he's laughing like, yo, you really gonna give me a kid? I'm 100, bro. You funny. You know what I'm saying? That's what he did to him. Ha! Go ahead.
and shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear?
He's like, and this 90-year-old woman, you gonna what? She's gonna travail through the pains of birth, and she's gonna have a kid. Are you serious? Right? It's women in their 20s that die having babies, right? But this 90-year-old woman's gonna be able to have the kid and live, and the kid gonna be straight too, right? Ain't gonna be no old child. You know how when Esau old and he have a kid, the kid end up looking like he Morgan Freeman and stuff, and he look old forever. I wasn't like that.
That's true. You know what I'm
saying? Go ahead.
Verse 18. And Abraham said unto the Most High, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And the Most High said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac.
So it said, what? Sarah's gonna bear a son indeed, and his name gonna be Isaac, right? So now, before this, he making a covenant telling telling Abraham all his kids got to be circumcised, right? But now he's specifying it's gonna be a different type of covenant now that I'm gonna make with Isaac. So now I got a covenant where all your kids got to be circumcised, and if they're not circumcised, I'm cutting them off from their people, right? He don't know that, you know, some of your kids is going to be slaves to Isaac's kids. He don't know this yet. You know what I'm saying? But the Most High knows this. You feel? And he's about to let him know now, even though you're going to get Ishmael or you got Ishmael, you know, we're going to make sure that there's going to be another son. It's going to be Sarah's son. And he's going to be the one that, you know, I established my real covenant with. So check this out. Keep reading.
Verse 19. And the Most High said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him.
So the everlasting covenant, right? The covenant that's going to last forever is going to be with Isaac and his seed after him, right? So now, out of all the Abraham's kids, the everlasting covenant, right? The one that really matters, that covenant can only be, it's only two people it could be possibly given to, right? When you go through the Bible, Isaac only had two kids. He had Jacob and Esau, right? So we're going to get into that in a second. Let's, what verse we on?
Verse 20 now.
Let's read the 22, and then we're going to go to Genesis 21.
Verse 20. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly.
So why did Ishmael get blessed, right? Was it because the Most High really wanted to bless him, or was it because he was just being a man of his word? Because he had literally already told Abraham, you're going to be a father of many nations. And your child, you know, the seed that comes from you shall be blessed. He already got his son, right? So he's thinking, okay, so you're going to give me a son by this 90-year-old woman and make her covenant happen. What about the kid that's already here? So the Most High, just to be fair, right? Because he's a just guy, you know what I'm saying? So just to be fair, he's like, don't worry about Ishmael. I'm gonna, you know, he gonna be straight. I'm gonna make him 12 princes. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be good. He gonna have black gold. You know what I'm saying? Until the man who he calls black, you know, really becomes the gold on the earth. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it's gonna go. And Ishmael is he has what he got, right? Still in the Middle East, so-called, right? The so-called Middle East, they over there doing their thing still, right? They got the United Arab Emirates and everything, the big old tall skyscrapers and stuff, right? So they got oil, you know what I'm saying? They got all their princes, all their long lines of kings and stuff. Nobody ruling but them and their family, they line, right? So this is the type of things that he got. He's still living out his blessing to this day, right? Go ahead.
12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac.
Yeah, so he's like, you know what I'm saying? So don't worry about Ishmael, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna be a great nation. He's gonna have his 12 princes, but I still ain't giving him the covenant. The covenant's still gonna be with Isaac, right? Because like I said, Sarah has to be the mother of kings, right? So since she didn't have Ishmael, right? Ishmael didn't get 12 kings, he got 12 princes. You understand? He's the bondwoman's child. So the princes, right? This is also why the northern kingdom was called princes, right? A lot of the northern kingdom was sons of the bondwoman, right? So they were significant of that as well. They're also the kings and princes on the world, right? When Yahushua comes on the scene, even though we're a nation of kings and priests, we're technically all going to be princes because he's going to be the king reigning over all of us, right? So at that time, Ishmael's 12 princes don't become princes anymore. They're no longer princes on that type of plane, I guess you could call it, right? At that time, they're princes to the slave folk, the slave princes, right? The high level peasants. That's what they're gonna be in the kingdom. You feel me? Go ahead.
But my covenant will I establish with Isaac.
His covenant is going to be established with Isaac. Come on.
Which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year.
At this set time in the next year, right? So read 22, and then we're gonna go to that set time.
And he left off talking with him, and the Most High went up from Abraham.
Mm-hmm. So if y'all want to read, just for the sake of time, we didn't go through it. If y'all want to read about Ishmael and Hagar and all that stuff, y'all can read Genesis 15 and 16. But we're gonna jump to Genesis 21 to see the coming of the real Prince of Abraham, right? So let's jump there. Let's go to Genesis chapter 21, start at verse 1.
Come on, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 21 from the top. And Yahweh visited Sarah as he had said.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahweh did.
It's like so now we're in that year, right? We're in that time appointed a year later when it's time for Isaac to come on the scene, right? Go ahead.
And Yahweh did unto Sarah as he had spoken.
Mm-hmm.
For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age.
Right.
At the set time of which the Most High had spoken to him.
Right.
And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bare to him, Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac, being 8 days old, as the Most High had commanded him.
Brothers is like, damn, Abraham was 100 when he had Isaac, yeah? Yeah, bro. We was mighty. Go ahead.
And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born unto him.
Yep. So Abraham, as it says, right? Abraham was 100 years old. You feel me? So this is what it is, man. The brother was able to do that. And just look at Sarah, right? She's pretty old for a woman to have a kid. And the kid come out healthy, right? He comes out the father of the princes and the kings of the earth. So, you know, it really don't get no better than that. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And Sarah said, the Most High have made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me.
Mm-hmm. Why? Because it's like a funny thing to people. Like, you know what I'm saying? The picture us in the kingdom, right? Brothers is like, you know, getting to talk to Grandma Sarah and stuff, right? Like, yo, you had Isaac, bro? Yeah. What? You was in your 90s? What? You know what I'm saying? It's a laughable moment because it's like, damn, these other women, you know, Moab over here trying to have kids, and in her 20s, she died 26,
right?
And our foremothers in the 90s, you know what I'm saying, just pushing babies out. So no problem, still able to laugh afterwards,
right?
You know so it's a big thing. That's heavy. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And she said, who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given children suck?
Mm-hmm.
For I have borne him a son in his old age.
So who gonna say, man, hey, bro, she should have gave him suck? You know what I'm saying? Should have. What's going on with that? You know, milk. It's like, yo, I gave him a child in his old age. What you talking about? You wouldn't be able to have a child at 80, let alone 100 years old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you have nothing to say in this instance against these people. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And the child grew and was weaned.
Mm-hmm.
And Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned.
Right. So they had a big old celebration the same day that Isaac was weaned. Go ahead.
And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, which she had born unto Abraham, mocking.
Right. So now this woman is mocking, right? Hagar, who had the first kid, she's mocking because, you know, it was customary back then that you know, the oldest child gets all the inheritance, right? So she's like, Hagar's not paying attention to what's going on. Yeah, please share the class, Baba Kashat. They're not sending out notifications, so y'all make sure that people seeing it. Y'all share the video, whatever. But so it's like they probably shadow banned us because, you know, they put this strike on us and stuff before, so we probably back shadow banned. But yeah, so Hagar's over here laughing, she's mocking and stuff because she's thinking her kid is still gonna get, you know, everything that he's owed because he's the oldest child. She wasn't there when Abraham and Sarah were talking to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't included in on that conversation. So she's mocking. She's thinking, oh well, yeah, you had a kid, but I had mine first. Ha ha. You know what I'm saying? Boo hoo for you. But watch what's gonna happen. Go ahead.
Verse 10. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son.
Mm-hmm.
For the
So
son of
now Sarah's like, nah, I know you're not gonna have this dusty old Egyptian woman laughing at me, bro. You better
Con,
cast out this old Hamite and her son. Go ahead.
Con. For the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even
Yeah.
with Isaac.
She said, you better take her behind back to Egypt because there ain't gonna be no heir with Isaac. He's a prince. My kid's a king. What you talking about, Willis? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 11. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son.
And Abraham's like, damn, she right, but that's my little boy. Saying I gotta cast him away. That's my kid. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Con. And the Most High said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad.
Here he come, Most High coming back down, right? You patting Abraham on the shoulder. Hey, bro, you better stop tripping over this little Egyptian boy. You know what I'm saying? I done tried to tell you last year that the kid gonna be fine, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're gonna make him a nation of 12 princes. What more do you want from me, Abraham? Huh? I don't even like Egyptians, but I'm gonna help your son out. Okay?
Right.
Like, don't worry about the little ugly old Egyptian lad. All right? He's gonna be all right. He's gonna be good. Go ahead.
And because of thy bondwoman and all that Sarah have said unto thee, hearken unto her voice.
Yeah, he's like, man, you gonna cry over the bondwoman, and you got the real queen right here, bro. Like, listen to her. Don't worry about this whole dusty slave, bro. Just let her walk away. Your kid gonna be okay. You gonna be good. Go ahead.
And Isaac shall thy in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
And he's reiterating again, right? Stop worrying about this kid, because in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Go ahead.
Verse 13. And also of the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation, because he is thy seed.
So there he goes again, right? And just because I'm fair, right? Even though I don't like this little dude and his mama, I'm going to still make him a great nation just because he your son. But damn it, if he wasn't your son, would have let him die in the wilderness. No, I'm saying.
Verse 14. Then Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water and gave it unto Hagar.
Right.
Putting it on her shoulder and the child, and sent her away.
So he's like, all right. He wake up in the morning, go to the well, get her a little jug of water. You know what I'm saying? And then he bring her a loaf of bread. He's like, all right, look, Sarah wants you to go, so you got to dip. You know what I'm saying? Bye. Take the kid with you.
Right.
Next. Go ahead.
Straight like that. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba.
So, she heartbroken and stuff. She just go wandering, all dramatic and stuff. That's how I picture it. She probably stumbling into the dust stand and stuff, into the sandstorm, right into the wilderness, right? Now watch how dramatic she get. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And the water was spent in the bottle, and she cast the child under one of the shrubs.
Mm-hmm.
And she went and set her down over against him a good way off. And as it were a bow shot, for she said, let me not see the death of the child. And she sat over against him and lifted up her voice and wept.
Right. So now she doesn't want to see the death of the child, right? So she's gonna weep. You know what I'm saying? She's thinking the kid gonna die. He gonna die of starvation, heat stroke, whatever it is, right? Go ahead.
Verse 17. And the Most High heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of the Most High called to Hagar out of heaven, and said unto her, what aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for the Most High have heard the voice of the lad where he is. Right?
Not the Most High heard the voice of her, right? He ain't care about what she said. She a heathen. The Most High don't care about the dogs, right? This is the first example of what? The heathen eating, or the dog eating the crumbs that come from the master's table.
That's right.
We got a Canaanite woman or an Egyptian woman at the time, right? Same difference, right? We have her son, who's significant of the woman in Matthew chapter 15:24, right? And it wasn't the mother that got helped, it was the child that got helped, right? How did the child get help? not well. His daddy was well, not an Israelite, but his daddy was Abraham. You know what I'm saying? Basically, you feel me? And he made a covenant with Abraham. So what? He saves the kid to keep the covenant because he's a fair God. Not because he cared about the kid or because he liked the kid or because he wanted to save the kid. He was just he was literally keeping his word. The kid has to survive in order for him to become a great nation of 12 princes, right? If he dies that day in the wilderness, that can't happen. So the Most High literally was just keeping his word. He's a just God, right? So Abraham's seed was blessed. There it is.
Can't
So
get around that, out of one.
they gonna try though.
Yeah,
So let's get Genesis chapter 25. Let's get to another part of the covenant, right? So now Isaac's on the scene. He already kicked out Ishmael, right? So we ain't gotta worry about him no more. We didn't even talk about Midian and all the rest of the kids. So they was never a factor. You know what I'm saying? Moab and all them people didn't get mentioned. So we ain't got to worry about them. Elam, none of Shem's other children, right? None of the cousins of Abraham, none of them got mentioned. So we ain't worried about none of those people, right? None of the children of Japhet, right? The eyes of the Gentiles. He ain't talking about none of them. So we ain't worried about those people either. So let's just go to Genesis chapter 25. Let's start at verse 25. Because he said that he was going to establish a covenant with Isaac and his seed after him. So let's get to the seed of Isaac and see, which one of these kids got the covenant. Go ahead.
You said verse 20. When we start at 23.
I want you to start at 25 for the sake of time.
And the
If
first,
I want to read the whole account of Jacob and Esau and you don't know it yet, start at Genesis chapter 25 and start at like verse 20. So you get the full aspect of everything and read it all the way to verse 34 to the end of the chapter. All right, go ahead.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 25. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they call his name Esau.
So the first came out red, right? These are Isaac's children, right? Rebecca's struggling with them in the womb. They slap boxing and stuff, right? So she go and talk to the Most High, like, what's up with these kids? Why they tripping? My stomach hurt. And he's like, it's two nations in thy womb, right? One's gonna be stronger than the other. You know what I'm saying? The oldest shall serve the younger. And then, boop, the big red hairy one pop out. So keep reading.
And after Salaki, verse 26, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob.
Right? So they described the first one. He came out red all over like a hairy garment, right? What they call werewolf syndrome, right? You could Google it. When a Edomite comes out red and hairy like his daddy, they don't call it Esau syndrome. They call it werewolf syndrome. So Neanderthal syndrome. What are you gonna call it? Okay. And then the second one comes out, right? No description, meaning he looked like everybody else on the planet at that time, right? Brown skin, melanated, regular looking brother. And he ain't that hairy because they ain't mention it. He ain't red all over. So that's it. He comes out grabbing the heel, right? Like they were slapboxing and Esau like slid away. He slid up out of there. You know what I'm saying? And Jacob's like, nope, no, where you going, buddy? You know what I'm saying? So he grabbed the heel, and that's how they come out. Go ahead.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she buried them.
Right? And even Isaac wasn't that young, right? A score is 20. So 60.
60.
Thank you. So there you go, right? It ain't really that common. I don't actually think I know any 60-year-old that's had a kid before. I'm sure they out there.
Yeah.
And like I said, I knew some kids when I was in school, some Edomite boy. It was this one boy who his name was Charles. He had an old man name, and the boy was like in 5th grade, and he looked like he was at least 48 in the face. Had liver spots and everything. So and it's just because his daddy was old. He had an old daddy. His dad we thought it was his grandpa, and he told us it was his pops. So, brothers have old children, but It's not a common thing. And here we are, you know what I'm saying? Abraham having old kids, right? Isaac come around, and now Isaac is having kids not that young, right? Go ahead.
Verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field.
So Esau is a cunning hunter, a man in the field, right? Likes to be outside, likes to wear his camo, you know what I'm saying? Likes his bow and arrows and his guns and all that type of stuff, right? Likes to go mudding, right? Not mudding, but mudding, right? And he he likes to drive his big old trucks, right? So that's the type of stuff Esau like. He like to be outside, a man in the field, right?
Uh,
He liked the smell of the fresh air and garbage and all that type of stuff. Go ahead.
and Jacob was a plain man,
And Jacob was a plain man, right? Go ahead.
dwelling in tents.
Yeah, so Jacob liked to stay in the crib. You
Uh,
know what I'm saying? Jacob liked the AC. He liked to watch television. He liked to read the Bible. Liked to drink wine. You know what I'm saying? Jacob liked to chill out, relax, be kingly. You know what I'm saying? Sit up in the chair and do this while he's outside, you know, doing all the peasant work. He liked to be chopping trees on Saturday, while Jacob liked to be in the house, you know, keeping the Sabbath.
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the way we are. Two different people, two different manners of people, right? One like to be outside, the other like to dwell in the tents. Go ahead.
Verse 28. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison.
And you know how pops be, right? Dad like the kid that like to go outside and barbecue, right? Huh? Dad like the kid that like to be outside with dad, do all the hard work and stuff, right? Obviously, that was Esau. You know what I'm saying? Esau like to be outside. Esau like to go catch the deer and stuff. Jake is like, I'll eat it when y'all get back.
Uh,
I'm gonna chill here with mom. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
but Rebekah loved Jacob.
And see, Rebecca loved Jacob, right? Go ahead.
And Jacob saw pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint.
Right. And notice they didn't even tell you why Rebecca loved Jacob. They just said Rebecca loved Jacob, right? And the only reason they told you why Isaac liked Esau was specifically because of that deer that Esau liked to make, right? That venison. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage.
Right. So now Esau been in the field all day. He ain't catch nothing. You know what I'm saying? He pissed off. Jacob ain't have to go catch nothing. You know what I'm saying? Jacob in the crib. He saved this food from last night. Because, you know, we smart. So we ain't been outside wasting all our energy. We ain't have to eat. You know what I'm saying? So we still got food. We eating the red pottage, and Esau come inside, faint, about to pass out. He was chasing a deer, and, you know, Esau, he ain't that fast. So, you know, he couldn't Usain Bolt or nothing like that. So the deer got away. So he walked home sad, and he see Jacob eating at the table, and he's like, yo, bro, give me some of that pottage, bro. I'm about to die. I'm faint. Right. So here's what Jacob says. Go ahead.
And I pray thee with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
And oh, by the way, that's why they called him Edom, right? Edom means red, and it was a red pottage. So there you go, right? He's a red man, red and hairy, red pottage, red Esau. Go ahead.
And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright.
And here go, you know, Jacob is cunning too. You know what I'm saying? Yaakov ain't no idiot. With this pottage boy, you the oldest kid, right? Huh? Sell me your birthright. Since you might die anyway. Either you're going to eat this pottage and I get the birthright, or you're going to die and I get the birthright. So which one you want, right? And Esau said what? Go ahead.
And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die.
He said, bruh, you right. I'm finna die. So give me the pottage. Go ahead.
And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
There it is. Come on.
And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him. And he
said, you know what? Jacob said, nah, I ain't finna take your word. You better swear that junk to me. Because you know, you come out the womb speaking lies. You know what I'm saying? So you better not just be talking. You better swear to me that I'm going to get your birthright after this. You know what I'm saying? Mama made me this pottage, boy. She don't cook you food. You have to go make yours yourself. You know what I'm saying? She made this for me. So you're going to swear to me that you're going to give me the birthright before I give you this. And that's what happened. Esau gave it up. Right? Go ahead.
And it said, thus Esau despised his birthright.
Yep. Because Esau despised it. He didn't really care about it anyway. So he was like, all right, a normal kid probably would have thought, I got to give you my whole birthright. I'm the oldest kid. Where mom at? I'm going to tell her to make me some pottage. And, I ain't even put out. I don't even want your pottage no more. But Esau said, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's how Jacob would have thought.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
You want all of that? That's a lot. This only some this some pottage. What?
Right.
You yourself. But the brother was just like, yo, give me the pottage. You can have the birthright. I don't even want it. Because he despised it. He didn't care about it anyway. Right? Go ahead.
You want to go to that's the end of the chapter.
Yeah, kind of it. So verse 34. So now you see the covenant, right? You see who got what. And to read on, you can go to what is it, Genesis 27? Yeah, it is. So 27 to read on how read how Jacob and Rebecca followed through with what the Most High wanted to make sure that Jacob got the full blessing that was supposed to be bestowed upon him, right? Because obviously the seed or the child that the Most High wanted, he's not to seeds as in many, right? It's to one seed, right? The seed of the chosen. So it couldn't be many seeds that came from Isaac, right? It's supposed to be the seed that came after him, the seed that came after him. So the seed that the Most High chose would be the one that, came out second, the one who wasn't going to have to serve the first one. So that was Jacob, right? So Jacob got the birthright, and that wasn't all. He also got the rest of the blessings, right? The blessing that was supposed to be given to Esau, right? That he basically sold. He sold it out of the knowledge of Isaac. So Isaac still tried to give the birthright to Esau, and Rebecca knew that the birthright was supposed to go to Jacob anyway, right? Because of what she spoke about the Most High. So it all played out.
Right.
Esau will tell you, oh, Jacob stole the birthright. No, you sold it, you idiot. the Most High just made it happen, right? He took your words and said, okay, since you don't want it, you despise it, I'm going to make sure he gets it. And when your dad is trying to give you the birthright, I'm going to still make sure he gets it. Because you despise it anyway. Anyway, it wasn't even for you. I let you think he was going to get it. So let's go to Exodus chapter 6 and start at verse 1.
Exodus 6 and 1.
Yeah. Now that we got the history of how the covenant started, let's get into a little bit of how they were enacted and the type of rules that followed, right? Because with covenants, it's not just a thing that you just do, right? It has to be agreed upon on both sides. The covenant with Noah was agreed upon, right? He did what the Most High said for him to do when it came to making the ark. He put his wife, his children, and their wives, and all the animals and stuff like that he told him to put on the ship, right? And afterwards, he told everybody to be fruitful and multiply, and they went out there and replenished the earth. Did they not? That's how we are here. So they agreed to the covenant. They followed through with the covenant. Abraham, right? He listened to the Most High, had faith in what the Most High said, right? He got him a kid with Hagar. Then he did what he was supposed to do with Sarah, followed through with the covenant, circumcised his children, right? That was him agreeing to the covenant. Right. So now let's see how Israel agreed to the covenant. Exodus chapter 6 and verse 1.
This is the book of Exodus chapter 6 and verse 1. Then Yahweh said unto Moses, now shalt thou see what I will do to Pharaoh. For with a strong hand shall he let them go. Mm-hmm. And with a strong hand shall he drive them out of his land.
Ain't it ironic that he kicked out Egyptian from Abraham's sight, and now he's gonna take out the Egyptians and save us from I don't know. I just always thought that was ironic. It's just funny to me. Most High Egypt.
He don't mess with them, brothers.
He hate Egypt, man. I don't understand why anybody would want to be Egyptologist, because the Most High just can't stand them Negroes, man. But anyway, go ahead.
Verse 2. And the Most High spake unto Moses and said unto him, I am Yahweh.
Yeah, he said, I am Yahweh, right? Not I am. He said,
Con,
I am Yahweh, right? Go ahead.
con. Verse 3. And I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of God Almighty.
Okay, so he appeared to them by Allah Shadya, right? Not Ahaya Sharahaya. Go ahead.
But by my name Yahweh
By
was
his
that
name Yahweh, right? Not Ahaya, but Yahweh. Go ahead.
was I not known to them.
So Abraham and Isaac didn't even know the Most High by Yahweh, right? He said Jacob too. They didn't even know the Most High by Yahweh. They knew him by the power Almighty, the Almighty power, right? He revealed the name to Moses, right? Moses was his friend. Go ahead.
And I verse 4. And I have also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan,
Mm-hmm.
the land of their pilgrimage, wherein they were strangers.
Right. So they pilgrims. We pilgrimage. We had a pilgrimage to the land, right? Not not like the Muslims, but like a real pilgrimage. You know what I'm saying? We settled there and didn't leave. The Muslims do a pilgrimage to Mecca and then go back to wherever they came from. It's not a real pilgrimage. But anyway, so we did that, and he gave us the land, right, where we were strangers. We left Egypt as and came to Canaan as strangers, and the land became our land. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 5. And I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant.
Right. Go ahead.
Wherefore say unto the children of Israel, I am Yahweh, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians.
So he said, I'm Yahweh, right? I'm your God. I'm the one who exists, and I'm gonna bring you out of the burdens from from under the burdens of the Egyptians. Go ahead.
Come. And I will rid you out of their bondage,
Uh-huh.
and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm, and with great judgments.
So he's gonna redeem you with a stretched out arm. He's gonna judge this wicked nation for doing what they did to you, right? Because we're the people who he chose. He's choosing us at this moment, letting us know that we're chosen. I should say, because he chose us from the beginning. But he's letting us know now that we're chosen, right? Go ahead.
Verse 7. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a God, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh your power, which bringeth you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians.
Right, so he's bringing us out of the burdens of the Egyptian. So the Most High is basically he introduced himself to Moses, right? Now he's introducing himself kind of not formally but informally to Israel, right? Go ahead.
Come, verse 8. And I will bring you in unto the land concerning that which I did swear to give it to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, and I will give it to you for an heritage. I am Yahweh.
I am Yahweh, right? Not I am. I am. It's only 3 chapters later. I don't know how y'all do that, but anyway. So look, the Most High has now revealed himself to the Israelites in Egypt, right? Going to take them up out of Egypt, right? So now he's telling them, I got a covenant for y'all. If y'all gonna listen, this how it's gonna go down, right? So obviously, like I said, for there to be a covenant and it be enacted as a covenant and treated as a covenant, it can't just be spoken about by one party and not agreed upon by the other. It has to be spoken and brought up and then agreed upon by both parties, right? So here's the agreeing of us coming into the covenant with the Most High, right? Let's go to Exodus chapter 19 and verse 1.
That's
Get
the book.
around a little bit. So if y'all want to get the full history of how this happened, you're going to have to read from Exodus 6. The rest of Exodus 6 all the way to verse 19. We're going to let y'all do that on your own time. Go ahead.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 1. In the third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai.
Right.
For they were departed from Rephidim and were come to the desert of Sinai, and had pitched into the wilderness, and there Israel camped before the mount.
Right.
And Moses went up unto the Most High, and Yahweh called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle wings, and brought you unto myself.
Right. So he brought us to himself, right? This is the Most High explaining to us basically what he said in Deuteronomy 76, right? He's put us on a higher pedestal than the other people, right? This is where that Exodus 11 and 7 come at, right? He's made a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. You feel what I'm saying? So he's straight up letting us know now, right? Go ahead.
Verse 5. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people.
So he's letting them know straight up here, right? That Deuteronomy 7 and 6, right? If y'all don't do what these Egyptians was doing and what they taught y'all, and y'all listen to the things that I'm about to have this man Moses teach you guys, right? If y'all come into into this covenant, and y'all do everything that I'm telling y'all to do, and keep my law, statutes, and commandments, I'm gonna make you the peculiar people. I'm not just gonna tell you that I made a difference between Egyptians and Israel. I'm gonna show you niggas, right? So you're gonna be a peculiar people above all people on the face of the earth. So keep going. Here's what we did.
Come, for all the earth is mine,
Mm-hmm.
and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests,
Right.
and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. So go ahead.
And Moses came and called for the elders of the people, and laid before their faces all these words which Yahweh commanded him.
So now Moses done gathered us up, like he done gathered the elders and stuff, right? He done gathered all the people, and he's letting them know this. So here's what we did. Go ahead.
Come. And all the people answered together and said, All that Yahweh have spoken, we will do.
There it is. The people like, you gonna do what now? We didn't serve 400 years of captivity to these dang devils, and you finna do what? You finna make us above all of them? Huh? All right, that's a bet. Whatever you say, we gonna do.
Right.
That's it. Go ahead.
And Moses returned the words of the people unto Yahweh.
And Moses went back and said, all right, y'all sure about that? You know what I'm saying? So once we confirmed it, we said yes. Moses said, all right. He went back up to the Most High and told the Most High. They agreed. The Most High's like, I'm about to begin, right? Go ahead.
And Slack verse 9.
After you read 8, that's all you gotta read.
Okay. Now that was verse 8.
Yeah, come. Give me Exodus 20. Let's go to 20 now. We read 19, right? So let's get the first set of instructions, basically, that he's gonna get, right? After we've agreed, now we on one accord, right? Now the Most High revealed himself. He didn't make the covenant with Noah and Ham, Shem, Japheth, and Ham, right? He makes the covenant with them. He floods the earth, makes sure that they live, you know what I'm saying, replenish the earth. We see Abraham. He makes the covenant with Abraham, makes him the father of many nations, gives Sarah her title, right? Gives Ishmael his blessing, gives Isaac his blessing, right? Gives Jacob his blessing. And now he's revealed himself to the Israelites, the children of Jacob, right? So now he's about to start giving us our first set of commandments, right? Now y'all have agreed to the covenant. You said you're going to adhere to the things that I'm going to teach you and make this man teach you and show you as far as how the covenant should be conducted, right? So now this is the first set of rules for the covenant. Let's get Exodus chapter 20.
Exodus chapter 20 from the top. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So now he's like, okay. So now that I have your attention, I am Yahweh your power, who has brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You Negroes will listen to me. Right? Keep going.
Verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Y'all ain't gonna have no other gods before me. That's rule number one. Why? Because when you was in Egypt just a minute ago, y'all was worshiping Horus, Set, uh, Anubis, all these dudes, Gomer, Jeb, Neb, Feb, Keb, just all of them, right? So you worshiping all these different gods, right? Turtles, alligators, owls, all type of stuff. So snakes, dogs, Doberman pinchers, all type of mess, right? So y'all stuck on these animals and you stuck with these other gods that you're worshiping. I need y'all to get rid of all that stuff. Only God that you're allowed to worship is me, right? No God front of my face. That's
Uh,
it. Go ahead.
uh, Verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or
Mm-hmm.
that is in the water under the earth.
Right now, see, it has colon right there, right? Italic, whatever that is. So it's not finished giving you this commandment right here. He's still specifying some things, right? Because I know brothers read this and they're like, we can't have no images. You can't have no line around your neck. You can't have no pictures of your Shai that you have at camp. You can't have this, that, and the third. But he's going to specify, right? Because there was certain things that people did with the images. Most I can't see. He ain't about to tell us we can't have art. He ain't about to say we can't make images of things and stuff like that because, the earth was made for our sakes, right? So let's read and see how or what we weren't supposed to do with these images, these graven images, these man-made images, right? Go ahead.
Verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them.
Right? So you're not supposed to bow down to them. You're not supposed to worship these graven images that you put out there that you make with your hands. Why? One, you made them with your hands, right? God cannot be made by human hands. He's God. So who's dumb enough to make something with your own hands, right? It didn't even have the power to make itself. You made it, and then you gonna worship what you make. That don't even make no damn sense. So he's like, you better not be bowing yourself down to this because that's what they were teaching you in Egypt, right? They make these people and then they worship the people that they make. They make these images, these things, they write them on a wall, and then they come up with a law that everybody got to go pray to it at 12. And they put it in the laws of my eye. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. So this is the type of stuff that we were dealing with, the type of stuff that we had to leave and separate ourselves from. So the Most High is putting out laws basically to make sure that we don't continue to do the things that the heathen were teaching us to do in Egypt. Keep going.
Uh, Nor serve them, for I, Yahweh, thy power, am a jealous God.
Hey, brother, somebody asked if you a Levite.
Fourth tribe representative. Araya Matah Yahweh. Matah means tribe.
Go ahead.
We had that conversation already too.
Sister said, you look like you from Haiti, huh?
Crazy thing is, I get that. Nobody think I'm regularly just Negro. They
Mm-hmm.
always think I'm from somewhere else. It's all good though. I take it as a compliment. Thank you, sis.
Go ahead.
For I, Yahweh, thy power, am a jealous God,
Mm-hmm.
visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
So he still wasn't really finished. He wasn't done, right? Because he's still explaining to you why you can't bow down to these images. He's like, I'm a jealous God, right? You ain't finna bow down to these things after I done did all this stuff for y'all. Are y'all stupid? I done saved you out of the hand of, right? I didn't get him all them locusts. Man, I didn't. What? I had Moses part the sea for y'all, and I drowned your enemies in your face. And then you gonna go and worship these people, right? You gonna make images of them and worship these things, right? No, better yet, you gonna make a calf,
Man.
and you gonna worship that. You know what I'm saying? So, it hadn't happened yet, but we're getting there. Go ahead.
Verse 6, and showing mercy unto the thousands of them that love me
Uh-huh.
and keep my commandments.
Right. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh thy power in vain,
Right.
for Yahweh will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain.
Right. So you can't take the Most High's name in vain. Right. Go ahead.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Mm-hmm.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Yahweh thy power.
Right. So he's telling them to keep the Sabbath holy. Go ahead.
And in it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy maidservant, thy manservant, thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Mm-hmm.
For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth.
Right. So now he's elaborating on that law because Israel need a sign. so the Most High can't just give you a law and expect you to follow it because Israel's a stiff-necked people, right? He was calling us stiff-necked in the book of Exodus. Y'all gonna see it because we was gonna be stiff-necked. Yeah. So after that, we was stiff-necked. So so he's giving us laws here, and he's literally having to like clarify. This is why I'm saying this, that, and the third. This is why you can't do this, that, and the third. Because if he don't do that, Israel's gonna be like, man, this don't even make sense. Why I can't make no fish and bow down to it? The Egyptians was doing it. He gave them gold and tower. He made us slaves to them. So why I can't make that shark and bow down to the tooth? You know what I'm saying? So it's like this is what he had to do. He had to clarify and give you an explanation as to why you can't do this. You know what I'm saying? You have to keep the Sabbath day holy because in 6 days I made the heaven and the earth, but on the seventh day I rested. You know what I'm saying? So y'all supposed to be like me, basically, right? So just keep that in mind as well. Even the Most High knows us to a T. Even the things that he explains, the things that he puts in line for us to do, he constructs it in a way where we basically would have to be in a situation to follow it because he makes it so that we understand everything that's going on, right? He doesn't leave nothing to chance, nothing to be used, or he doesn't use anything that you can leave to be confused about. You understand what I'm saying? He always elaborates on everything. So go ahead.
The sea and all that, Salakin, all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Right.
Thou shalt not steal.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Right.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Mm-hmm.
And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood far off.
Yeah, so this jump be making me laugh because I could picture it, right? You know how in the movies you watching and the mountain it get like thunder and lightning and stuff like that. Like imagine you there, right? You Israel, you at the bottom of the mountain watching, and you hear the voices. Moses is saying this stuff, right? Yahweh is speaking. You know what I'm saying? Thunder, lightning, all that type of stuff. It's dark, and then all of a sudden it's boom, boom, right? The thunder. Israel just start. They like, what is this? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? They stood afar off, right? Go ahead, keep going.
Verse 19. And they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not the Most High speak with us, lest we die.
He said, yo, they was like, hey, bro, you could talk to us, right? But this, nah, you can't let this happen no more. We don't want to talk to him. This man's scared. What you brought us here for? What have you done now, Moses? What is this? what you just got us into. Because you have to remember, right? Just in chapter 19, right? Just like literally probably 10 minutes before this, everybody agreed to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're going to do what you say. 10 minutes later, the man is thunder and lightning. You know what I'm saying? And like after he just gave them a bunch of commandments that they already want to break. And he's scaring them. So this is what Moses said. Go ahead.
Exodus 20 and 20. And Moses said unto the people, fear not.
Moses said, what y'all scared for, bro? Don't be scared. This your father. Go ahead.
For the Most High is come to prove you.
He just came to prove y'all, man. He's trying to see if y'all going to fear him for real. Go ahead.
And that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not.
So he basically let them know, like, hey, the Most High was trying to make you scared. To let you know, like, if you mess with him, ain't no getting away from that. Because look what he just did. Right. So we still went up. Go ahead.
Verse 21. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where the Most High was.
Come on.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, ye have seen that I've talked to you from heaven.
Right. So he's like, you seen that I taught you from heaven, right? Literally. You thunder and lightning.
Right.
Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Ye shall not make with me gods of silver, neither shall you unto you gods of gold.
He told us specifically, y'all better not go make no gold calf. Y'all better not go make no silver calf, not no golden rat, not no owl, not no eagle, none of that. Right? Don't make no type of gods out of nothing that you can make with your hands. I don't care if it shines like gold and glitters like silver. Go ahead.
Salaki, that's just like a rebellious children, man. You tell your child or somebody, look, don't touch that stove. That stove hot.
They like 5 times.
Right.
Hey,
somebody go see if this stove hot.
Don't you know what I'm saying? That's what the Most High was doing just now. He told them like 5 times, you shall have no gods before me. You shall not make any graven images. Now he's telling them, you better not go make no thing with no silver or no gold. You know what I'm saying? He no over and over and over again. Like, bruh, I'm warning y'all, yo. Don't try me. You know what I'm saying? Like how your mom and pops do. Go ahead.
Verse 24. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings, and thy peace offerings, thy sheep, and thy oxen. In all places where I record my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee.
Right. So that's it, man. Right. So he's like, y'all not finna make all these graven images and worship them, right? But here's what y'all are gonna do. Y'all gonna make me an altar, and y'all gonna go and sacrifice to that thing, right? That's what you are gonna do. This was like, all right, yeah. I'm gonna sacrifice a golden calf at the altar. I don't want. But let's go to Exodus chapter 34. Let's skip around a little bit. So now we see, right? He didn't brought us into the covenant, and he didn't lay down the first set of rules for the covenant that he made with us, right? That we agreed to, by the way. Go ahead. Exodus 34, start at verse 1.
It's the book of Exodus 34 from the top. And Yahweh said unto Moses, hew thee 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and I will write upon these tables the words that were in the first tables which thou breakest. And be ready in the morning, and come up in the morning unto Mount Sinai, and present thyself there to me in the top of the mount. And no man shall come up with thee, neither let any man be seen throughout all the mount.
Right, because you gotta understand, at this time we didn't got in trouble, guys. We got in trouble. Golden calf was done in Exodus 32. So Most High is kind of mad at us right now at this point. He's like, I don't even want to see none of these Negroes. I just told y'all not to make no graven images, not to bow down, nothing. And while I'm up here talking to Brother Moses, y'all gonna literally make a golden calf after I just told y'all not to make nothing out of gold.
Right.
Just said it. You know what I'm saying? Like how your mom be. Nigga, I just told you not to touch nothing in the store. You know what I'm saying? The Most High mad, bro. So go ahead. He's like,
Con.
you better, Moses, you better bring me them tablets. And when you come up here, better not be nan Negro with you.
Just
If
you.
I see one of your brothers and sisters, I'm whooping your behind and I'm killing them. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And no man shall come up with thee, neither let any man be seen throughout all the mount. Neither
Uh-huh.
let the flocks nor herds feed before that mount.
See? I don't even want to see your animals. I'm so mad. I don't even want to see your animals. If I see one of your sheep go in the graze on top of this mountain, y'all gonna be eating lamb tonight.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 4. And he hewed 2 tables of stone like unto the first. And Moses rose up early in the morning and went up unto Mount Sinai, and Yahweh as Yahweh had commanded him, and took in his hand the 2 tables of stone.
Uh-huh.
And Yahweh descended in the cloud and stood with him there and proclaimed the name of Yahweh.
Right. So now the name about to be proclaimed, right? Y'all, you Israelites can't get around this. Go ahead.
Right. This actually one of my favorite chapters to prove Christ. But I ain't gonna spoil it. Verse 6. And Yahweh passed by before him and proclaimed, Ha Yahweh Alahai, merciful and gracious, long suffering and abundant in goodness and truth,
All right.
keeping mercies for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and upon the children's children unto the third and to the fourth generation.
And this is how you know that this is like Yahweh Shah speaking for the Most High, because the Most High is not going to be talking about himself like that. I am Yahweh who, you know what I'm saying? That's weird. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's weird. So the Most High is not the author of confusion.
Con.
You guys are. So this is a that's what that is, right? Go ahead.
And Moses made haste and bowed his head toward the earth and
So
worshiped.
once it's clear that you in the presence of the Most High, right? Angels is around. Moses is bound down. Okay, I see you mad. All right, you know what I'm saying? That was it. Go ahead.
And he said, If now I have found grace in thy sight, O Lord, let my Lord, I pray thee, go among us. For it is a stiff-necked people.
Mm-hmm.
And
So now Moses is making supplication for us, right? He's trying to make sure the Most High don't just wipe us out right now. Hey, bro, you know we stiff necked. You said it. You know
con,
what I'm saying? So we are a stiff necked people. You know what I'm saying? He's reiterating it for the Most High, bro. Please, you already know what's going on. Go ahead.
and pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take
Mm.
us for thine inheritance.
Please pardon our iniquity. Please just overlook that. They didn't mean it. You know, they ain't been out of Egypt that long.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just gotta cut us some slack, Most High. Please, just still make us your inheritance. Please, go ahead.
Verse 10. And he said, Behold, I make a covenant before all thy people. I will do marvels such as such as have not been done in all the earth.
So yeah, I was
Nor
like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna do some marvels then. Yeah, I'm gonna put y'all back in captivity. And I'm gonna save you like nobody been saved before. But it's gonna work out in your favor though. But damn it, I'm gonna have fun with this. You know the most I have fun with this because he was mad, boy. He was mad that as soon as he tell us not to do something, we went and did it. Go ahead.
I'd have been like Moses too.
Man,
I'd have been pleading. I'd have thrown dirt on my head and some more stuff. Like, please.
one of y'all go do it. I don't want to talk to Most High after y'all did that. One of y'all go talk to him.
Right.
I ain't doing it.
I gotta go deal with this angry man right here.
Oh
God.
wow. Go
Verse,
ahead.
verse 10. And he said, Behold, I make a covenant before all thy people. I will do marvels such as have not been done in all the earth,
Mm-hmm.
nor in any nation.
Right.
And all the people among which thou art Shalaki, and all the people among which thou art shall see the work of Yahweh,
Right.
for it is a terrible thing that I will do with thee.
He says a terrible thing that I'm gonna do with you, bro. Y'all done messed up now. I'm gonna do some marvels. I'm gonna make you my inheritance, but now y'all gonna have to go through some trials and tribulations first. You know what I'm
Come,
saying? I don't even think I'm gonna save all of y'all, but I ain't gonna tell you that yet. You know what I'm
right,
saying? But I already can see only 1/3 of you Negroes gonna make it.
right.
Most I think he said, I got something terrible for y'all. That's how he's thinking. All right, so we're gonna leave that there. Actually, no, we can't leave that there. Let's jump around. Uh, Man, he had to tell us again. Let's start at verse. Let's start at verse 15.
Come. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 34, and verse 15. Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a horn after their gods, and do sacrifice unto their gods, and one call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice.
Yo, this how you know the Most High merciful, bro. Like you know how your parents be they'll punish you, but then they'll go back and I ain't want to whoop your behind. I don't like beating you up and stuff. This, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? You just got to do this, that. Just stop touching the stove when I tell you that. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
The Most High is going to do that the exact thing to us. He done already told us not to worship no gods before him. He didn't told us not to make no images and bow down to them. He didn't told us specifically not to make nothing and bow down to it of silver or gold. And we went and did that. All of that stuff we went and did right after he told us that, right? So now he about to give us another chance and explain it to us again a different way, right? Because sometimes you folks is like, maybe it's the way I explained it. Maybe I didn't explain it in the way that you understand. So they
right.
change it up, right? This is how you literally know we the children of the Most High, because we act just like him. We got his same
Right.
characteristics. Go ahead. Read.
Verse 16. And thou take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a horn after their gods, and make thy sons go a horn after their gods.
Right. So
Thou
so so this is where we get the Exodus. I mean the Deuteronomy 7 from, right? We're gonna read that soon, but this is the first account of it, right? So even Deuteronomy 7, when he says it, is him giving us another warning. You know what I'm saying? Don't do this. Don't mess with them other women. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to kill these people when you get here, but if you don't kill them and you make covenants with them and marriages with them, they're gonna turn you from following me. You know what I'm saying? Better not do it. I got something terrible for you already. I done told you. You keep playing, you're
right.
gonna see. You know what I'm saying? So he's literally warning us over and over and over again. That's how merciful he is. Keep going.
Verse 17. Thou shalt make thee no molten gods.
Right? No molten gods. You should not make a god that you had to make yourself. Go ahead.
The feast of unleavened bread shalt thou keep.
Now he's
Seven,
about to give us more laws and commandments added on to the things that he gave us before, right? Now he's giving us feast days to follow. Before Leviticus 23. Go ahead.
come. Verse 18. The feast of unleavened bread shalt thou keep. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread as I command thee, and the time of the month Abib, for in the month Abib thou camest out from Egypt.
Right? Come on.
All that openeth the matrix is mine,
We know what the matrix is, right? It's the womb. Go ahead.
and every firstling among thy cattle, whether ox or sheep, that is male. But the
Now look.
first
Yeah. Read this part. Read this part.
but the firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with a lamb, and if thou redeem him not, then shalt thou break his neck. All the firstborn of thy sons thou shalt redeem, and none shall appear before me empty.
Keep going.
6 days thou shalt work, but on the seventh day thou shalt rest. In airing time and in harvest thou shalt rest.
Come on.
And thou shalt observe the feast of weeks, of the first fruits of wheat harvest, and the feast of ingathering at the year's end.
Right.
Thrice in a year shall all your men children appear before Yahweh power, the God of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
For I will cast out of the nations before thee and enlarge thy borders. Neither shall any man desire thy land when thou shalt go up to appear before Yahweh thy power thrice in a year.
So he just gave you your 3 times in a year that the people supposed to, or that the men are supposed to report to the Most High through by way of feast days, right? He just gave it to you here in Exodus 34. Before we get to Leviticus chapter 23, so he's already adding more stipulations to the covenant, right? That we agreed to, that we already started breaking. By the way, so but check this out, right? Because a lot of people don't realize this. This stuff that he's giving us in Exodus 34, at least the first fruits, right, was already something that we were doing. Because there's a Cain and Abel. Let's get Exodus 32 right quick. Genesis 4 and 4. I said Exodus 32. It's Genesis 4 and 4.
And this the book of Genesis, chapter 4 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock.
The what?
The firstlings of his flock.
Right? Ain't that what it said you're supposed to bring? Huh? The first fruits? Go ahead.
The firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And Yahweh had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
Right? So the Most High had respect unto Abel's offering because he gave him what he's supposed to give, right? Go ahead.
But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect.
He didn't care about what Cain did. Cain didn't give him that first one. He gave him like the last with the blemishes on it. he ain't giving the one with no spot, no blemish. Cain gave him the one that looked rotten, the one that didn't fully develop. It's like this big, got a big old brown line in the middle of it. Most I was like, "What is this?" You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, but this was already being enacted, right? It's already being done. So this is something that we're already practicing as a nation. He's just reiterating it to us now, like this is going to be part of your covenant. I know you probably heard about it before, you know what I'm saying, from your oral tradition and stuff like that you have passed down when you was in Egypt, but now you're going to use it. It's going to be a feast day for you guys. And not to mention, it's going to be one of the 3 feast days that all your men going to have to report to. Since good old Abel got killed during this feast, it's going to be a thing that if y'all don't make it, y'all going to be cut off from Israel. All right? So, there we go. This is the beginning of the covenant. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 1. Start at verse 1.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan in the wilderness, and the plain over against the Red Sea, between Paran and Taphel and Laban and Hazeroth and Dazahab.
Keep going.
Verse 2. There are 11 days journey from Horeb by the way of Mount Seir unto Kadesh Barnea. And it came to pass in the 40th year, in the 11th month, on the first day of the month, that Moses spake unto the children of Israel according unto all that Yahweh had given him and commandment unto them.
Keep going. Read the verse 8.
After he had slain Sihon, the king of the Amorites, which dwelt in Heshbon, and Og, the king of Bashan, which dwelt in Ashtaroth and Adria, on this side Jordan, in the land of Moab, began Moses to declare this law, saying, Yahweh our power spake unto us in Horeb, saying, Ye have dwelt long enough in this mount. Turn you and take your journey and go to the mount of the Amorites, and unto all the places nigh thereunto, in the plain, in the hills, and in the vale, and in the south, and by the seaside, and to the land of the Canaanites, and unto Lebanon, unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Behold,
keep going.
Behold, I have set the land before you, Go in and possess the land which Yahweh sware unto your fathers,
Mm-hmm.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give unto them and to their seed after them.
So that's it, man. Right? So now we're seeing the establishment of the covenant, right? Now you get to go into the land. I didn't give you our rules, right? We done went through Exodus, where, as you see, we got rules. We got the Ten Commandments. We got the 3 big feast days that we're supposed to be at. Then we get Leviticus, right, where he's giving us the rest of the laws that's going to go through with the covenant that we have. Then we have Numbers, right, which gives us a couple other rules and stuff. And then the second reading of the law, which basically gives the reader more in depth, right, history on what was going on. Got Deuteronomy, where he also reiterates things, right, that was said in Leviticus, or that was said in Exodus, or that was said in Numbers, right? So we're reiterating things in Deuteronomy. So let's go to let's go to 7. We're not gonna read the whole thing. I'm gonna skip around.
Deuteronomy chapter 7. Salakia. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 7. And when Yahweh thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Gergesites and the Amorites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations. Salaki, I skipped nations. I'm gonna start from the top. When Yahweh thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Gergesites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when Yahweh thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them.
Come on.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
All right. Now look, he's reiterating what he told us in Exodus 34. Right? Many of y'all think this is the first time it was said. No. Deuteronomy's second law. First time it was given to us was Exodus. Right? Same book where he told us there's a difference between you guys and these other brown people in this area. Right? So don't mess with none of them. That's why Tobit had to go through and tell us chiefly, take a wife of the children of your own people. So is my Wi-Fi wilding right now? I'm sure.
It seemed like mine just blinked.
Okay.
Nah, yours look fine.
All right, we good then. Okay, so as you see, right, Deuteronomy 7, he's telling us to do that same thing again. And Deuteronomy 28:1, Deuteronomy 28:15, right? He's giving us the blessings if we do what he told us to do. He's giving us the curses if we don't do what he told us to do, right? Deuteronomy 28:1, he's explaining to us like these are the blessings that will happen if you hearken unto the voice of the Lord your God and do all the commandments which he commanded this day, right? He's gonna set you on high above all the nations of the earth. But then you read 15, and it's if you don't listen and hearken and diligently into the voice of the Lord your God to do all the commandments that he command you this day, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So he's letting you know that you gonna mess up. So this was gonna happen to you when you mess up, right? So like all of that together, everything here is basically the fully laid out heritage of the Israelites, right? We get to Deuteronomy. Once you read all of Deuteronomy, he's basically run down the whole heritage that he's given them to them based on this covenant that he's making with them from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? So now they know what's going on. So this is why Sirach says this. Now that y'all have this understanding, you probably don't understand why I always pull this out. But Sirach 17:11, this is why, right? With understanding that all of this stuff together, with the laws included, is the literal heritage of the Israelites, right? Because let's look at culture, right? The culture of America is based off of their constitution, right? The things Americans are allowed to do is based off of their constitutional rights, right? The constitutional rights of the Israelites is what? The
Law.
Torah. It's the
Con.
law, right? Law, statutes, and commandments that the Most High gave us. So everything that we're allowed to do or not allowed to do, everything that we should be doing according to our culture and our heritage that is, acceptable to us is found in the Bible by way of the Torah, right? So anything that we're doing is supposed to be specified by that stuff. If it's not specified by that stuff, then that's when we end up in a situation and we know that, hey, uh, we're going off because this ain't what the Bible says we're supposed to be doing. This is not the way that the Bible says we're supposed to be acting. This ain't the way we're supposed to carry ourselves. So let's look at the heritage. Sirach 17:11.
Con. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage.
Right? Come on.
Verse 12. He made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgments.
So he made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgments, right? In Leviticus 26, we'll read it in a little bit. Leviticus 26, he's explaining to you from verses 1 all the way to 13. This is what's going to happen if you guys do what I say, right? Just like in Deuteronomy, right? He only gave you 14 verses, right? 1 to 14 of the blessings. In Leviticus, he only give you 13, 1 to 13. By the time you get to verse 14, he's telling you, but if you don't, and you are contrary to me, this is what's going to happen. And then he give you like verse 15 all the way to like 38, 40, something like that, right? Just like in Leviticus, just like in Deuteronomy, all the curses is from Deuteronomy 15 all the way to 68. So it's always been more bad that he's going to do to us than good. Why? Because as soon as you left Egypt, you was making golden calves. And he told Moses specifically, I'm going to do some marvels in the earth that the world never seen before. I ain't never did for no nation. But it's going to be something terrible for y'all too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the terribleness is what? Him knowing that we was going to go off because we did within like 10 minutes of him saving us out of Egypt, right? We went ahead and went off right away. So he's like, Moses did say y'all stiff-necked people. We're going to see how stiff your neck is if you're going to turn it into rubber right quick, right?
Yeah.
And we'll do it. So we ended up with glass necks, and the Most High broke them. So let's see. Let's go to Sirach. No. Keep reading. What verse you on? Sirach 17 and what?
13 now.
Yeah. Keep reading.
Verse 13. Their eyes saw the majesty of his glory, and their ears heard his glorious voice.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto them, beware of all unrighteousness. And he gave every man commandment concerning his neighbor.
Right. Come on.
Their ways are ever before him and shall not be hid from his eyes.
So our ways are always before him, but they're never going to be hid from his eyes, right? Because he's looking at us. He's literally looking for us to mess up. When we mess up, we get all them curses that he put upon us, right? Go ahead.
Every man from his youth is given to evil.
Right? And he's like, since y'all went off right away, I know all y'all going to be given to evil. So that's why naturally you get more curses than blessings. Since Adam went off and Eve went off, every man was subject to sin. So this is known by the Most High. Obviously, he's the Most High, right? He's the omnipotent one. He knows all things. So obviously, he's going to give us more punishment because he wants you to be able to see it. He wants it to be underlined, bold. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, if I ain't going to do what I tell you to do, all of this stuff is what's going to happen, right? But brothers just be like, oh, what's going to happen? What? You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't trying to see it till it's too late. So that's what the Most High does. He puts it in your face and keeps reminding you over and over and over again so that when it's time for you to recall all the things that you did in your life or your lives, right? Ain't no way in hell on earth that you're going to be able to tell the Most High, I didn't know.
Right.
He's making it like a sure thing that it's going to be impossible for you to say you didn't know, because it's all throughout the Bible. There's plenty different like examples that you could go to prove that he's given us chance after chance after chance, and the ones that ain't trying to get it right simply just don't want to.
Right.
That's 2/3. All right. Part of your trials and tribulation is you just literally coming back doing what he told you to do, and suffering because of it, right? Because everybody else isn't going to want to suffer. So the ones that do what it is naturally going to end up suffering, because everybody else is not suffering, not doing what the Most High told them to do. So, what verse you on?
16.
Read the 18.
Every man from his youth is given to evil. Neither could they make to themselves fleshly hearts for stoning. For in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people. But Israel is the Lord's portion, whom being his firstborn, Salah, go ahead, my
Okay.
fault.
Keep reading.
Whom being his firstborn, he nourished with discipline, and giving him the light of his love, doeth not forsake him.
So look, he gave you the light of your love, right? The light of his love, right? The light of his love is obviously the love is the law, statutes, commandments. The light is the knowledge you have to walk therein. So he's giving you the knowledge of his law, statutes, and commandments so that you don't piss him off. And brothers are still not really taking heed to that, right? That's
Right.
the problem with Israel. You don't want the knowledge. We're destroyed for a lack of knowledge, right? Destroyed for a lack of a light, because he gave us the light of his love. He gave us the knowledge of his law, statutes, and commandments. And brothers are destroyed because they're trying to run away from that knowledge. So that's the heritage, right? This is the heritage we were given. Sirach 20, 24, and 23, right? All these things in the book of the law and the heritage that he gave to the congregations of Jacob. You ain't got to read it. So that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? This whole book. So, and it starts with the covenant that was made in the rules of the covenant, because that's how we establish, right, the heritage that was given to the Israelites. So, that being said, is this covenant still just for the Israelites? And which covenant are we in? Because obviously there's a new testimony of this old covenant, right? And an old testimony of this old covenant. But for some reason, though there's two different testimonies, people seem to think that the second testimony automatically means we're in a newer covenant. So in a couple scriptures, we're gonna prove that, and then we're gonna get the heck up out of here. Let's just to prove a point, let's get Isaiah 41 and 8.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 41 and verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend.
Can't
Can't get around it.
get around it. Let's go 43 and 1.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 43 and verse 1. But now, thus saith Yahweh that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine.
We the Most Highs, we're redeemed already, right? The ones that are already predestined to be conformed to the image of the Son, right? Believe in him as the scriptures have said, so that rivers of living water can flow out of their bellies, right? And these are the people who will get the glory, right? For coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments, and being put through the trials and tribulations, being tried as silver is tried and gold is tried through the fire, right? Of adversity. So these are the ones who, Most High will be the 144,000 and the 1/3 and get to rule with Christ in the kingdom of heaven. That's how it is. Go ahead.
Verse 2. When thou passest through the waters.
Skip to verse 3.
Verse 3. For I am Yahweh thy power, the Holy One of Israel, thy Savior. I gave Egypt for thy ransom, Ethiopia and Sabah for thee.
Right. So he gave Sheba and Ethiopia and Egypt for ransom to the Israelites. I just like to read that. Let's go to verse 10.
Come. That's the book of Isaiah 43 and 10. Ye are my witnesses, saith
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh.
Not
And
Jehovah,
right,
but
Yahweh.
we are the witnesses, right? not Jehovah's witnesses, but we are the witnesses. Go ahead.
Come. And my servant whom I have chosen.
Mm-hmm. We the
That
servants of the Most High, right? That's what Romans 9 says, right? To the Israelites pertain to service of God, right? Come on.
Salaki. That ye may know and believe me and understand that I am he. Before me there is no God formed, neither
Mm-hmm.
shall there be after me.
That's right. Let's go to 44 and 1. And then we're going to be finished with the chosen scriptures. We're going to read the covenant and then call it a night.
Come. Isaiah chapter 44, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and
Right?
Israel, whom I have chosen.
And Israel, whom has been chosen, right? So there it is, right? Plain as day. You had a whole bunch of scriptures before this, but this one says it plain as day. Jacob, the servant, Israel, he has chosen. He's chosen and to be this chosen and to be the servant, Israel and Jacob, who is Yasher Allah, who is the 12 tribes of Israel, right? That's who he chose. So let's get Psalm 147, 19 and 20, because we did talk about judgments and stuff, right? We did talk about that.
Mm-hmm. That's the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19 through 20.
Hmm?
He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh.
Right? As for his judgments, they have not known them, right? That's why the other nations don't get punished for not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, because they're not a part of the covenant, which the law, statutes, and commandments were given, right? So the Most High don't care about them. That's why they don't get none of the judgments. We get the judgments, and he specified the judgments to us beforehand. Why? Because the judgments are literally part of the covenant.
Come.
This is what Leviticus. Here, let's go to Leviticus 26 right quick before we bring out the covenants and just prove it. For I guess we'll end on those. Let's get Leviticus 26, start at verse 1.
Come. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 1. Ye
Mm-hmm.
shall make you no idols, nor graven image, neither rig you up a standing image, neither
Damn, he
shall
started off with a law. He just started with a law. Look at that. Go ahead.
neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land to bow down unto it.
Right. Come on.
For I am Yahweh your power.
Mm-hmm. Keep
Ye
going.
shall, ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am Yahweh.
So he's giving you laws, right? Now jump to verse 13.
Come. Leviticus 26 and verse 13. I am Yahweh your power, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, that ye should be their bondmen, that ye should not be their bondmen, and I have broken the bands of your yoke and made you go upright.
Right. Come on.
But if ye will now hearken unto me,
So
and
now,
will
here we go now, right? See,
come,
I made you upright. I broke your bands, your arch, your back was arched. You was on your hunchback of Notre Dame slave stuff, right? But I done broke the bands. You done stood up straight. Now you a king on the earth. You're above all people on the face of the earth. But if y'all still gonna walk contrary to me, what happens?
but if you will not hearken unto me and do all these commandments, and if you shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant, I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning, what's that? A goo that shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart. And ye
Whew,
shall and
whew.
ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it.
Mm. And he ain't even finished. Y'all thought that was crazy. he got like 50 more verses. You know what I'm saying? In Leviticus 26. I don't know how many it is. It's like 40 or something. But yeah, Lady Tech, we'll talk about that next time. It's the spirit, but we'll go in depth with that next time. Yeah. She wants to know here. I'll post this here. I can see what she said. I guess we're gonna have to talk about this next week. Next lesson, if you can, on Milk Monday, can you break down the difference between the spirit, soul, and the Holy Spirit? It's the Holy Spirit, sis. We don't use the word Holy Ghost because the Most High is the God of the living, and a ghost specifies death. Spirits don't die, so it's the Holy Spirit, not the Holy Ghost. But yeah, we could talk about that next week. No problem. No problemo. All right, so. As y'all see, he's always been preparing us. He's always let us know the judgments. It ain't just Deuteronomy 28. It's also Leviticus 26, right? So let's get Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31.
This the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
So he's going to make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, right? Go ahead.
Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break.
Not with nobody else, not with no Egyptians and no Ishmaelites, right? But it's still not going to be according to the covenant I made with them at the beginning. You feel me? Because I mean, we had the covenant where it wasn't really about them, and it was about the whole earth. Then we had the covenant where Abraham is telling everybody to be circumcised, which we know under this covenant you have to be circumcised because in the new covenant circumcision is going to be in the hearts and minds of the Israelites. So you ain't going to be born without getting circumcised. You know what I'm saying? So that won't be a problem anymore. So it's like, it's going to be a little bit different than the first one that we made. That's basically what it's trying to tell you, right? But it's still going to be with just Israel and Judah. Go ahead.
Which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith Yahweh. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I will put my law in their inward parts and write in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people.
So he's gonna put these things in your inward parts, right? So it's things that like we're not gonna have to worry about. Obviously, when he says in our inward parts or in your inward parts, this is being spoken about to the Israelites. It ain't to everybody else. He clearly said new covenant with Jacob and Israel and Judah, right? So this is what like it has to be specified that the only people he's talking to is Israelites here. So it will be the Israelites that have the laws of the Most High in their hearts and minds. Why? Because it was the Israelites who were given the laws as a heritage and a culture, right? So that's it. Keep going.
Verse 34.
Oh, the water lady tech, Salaki. The water lady tech for the donation. Go ahead.
And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahweh. For they shall all know me from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh. For I will forgive their iniquity and I will remember their sin no more.
Right. So that's it, man. That's the new covenant that he's going to make with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 8 and 8. See if it changes in the New Testament, the new testimony of the old covenant, right?
That's the book of Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 8.
This is how you know that the old covenant and in the New Testament are basically the same thing, right? The New Testament is a new testimony of the old covenant. The way you know is because they still talk about the new covenant as if it's something not in the old covenant, in the New Testament, right? So the New Testament speaks about the new covenant as if the new covenant hasn't started in the New Testament, right? So that has to mean what? that the new covenant didn't start yet. Damn. All right. Let's prove it. Goodness gracious.
That's the book of Hebrews, chapter 8, verse 8. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
He's going to make a new covenant still with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. So if this is a new testimony, and the new testimony is supposed to signify a new covenant, because I literally seen a brother in the truth that wears he wears a mitre around his head, right? The turbans, all that type of stuff. And the brother had the audacity to say, new covenant started when Yahweh died. Okay. Read that again.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 8 and verse 8. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
So the days still come, meaning in Hebrews, after Yahweh is already dead and gone and on his way back, right? Y'all still haven't gotten to the days where the new covenant is supposed to start, but it started when Yahweh died. That don't make no sense. But to each his own, I guess. Keep reading.
Come, verse 9. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers, in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord.
So he said we continue not in a covenant. They ain't told us the new covenant started yet. But we in the new covenant. You hear the crickets? All right, let's go. Man.
You said, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 10. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws in their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people.
Check this out, right? Whether you think that the Jews are the crackers in Israel right now, or you think that we the Jews, right? None of us are living 100% sinless lives from birth. So you know what that means? Brothers was born into sin, and they don't have no laws in their hearts and minds. So if that's the case, what new covenant is anybody in? Second, Jeremiah and the book of Hebrews both told us that in the new covenant, you're not supposed to teach your neighbor anymore. Regardless of who you think your neighbor is. If you think your neighbor is just the people that skin to you and kin to you, or if you think the neighbor is the white guy that lives next door to you too, why does your neighbor, Mr. Brown, still go to church and have Bible study where all the cars of his white people park in front of your yard and stuff? Because there's so many of them coming to be taught about the Bible at Mr. Brown's house next door. He's a Christian, so he believes in the new covenant, but he's teaching his neighbors, all of them. They all go to his house on Tuesday night, right, to be taught. Why do you still go to church on Sunday and pass around the bucket to your pastor after he told you to sow a seed, and that the reason you ain't got what you want is because you ain't gave enough to the Most High yet. Where's the bucket? Pass that bucket around 3-4 more times. Let's see if anybody want to give to the Most High, so that they can receive what they're supposed to receive after they sow their seed. Right? That's what the pastor do. He starts smiling seed. So it's like, if that's the case, why does he have to teach you that if we're already in the new covenant? And according to Jeremiah in the Old Testament and Hebrews 8 in the New Testament, we're still having to, we still having to be taught. He has to teach you to put money in the bucket. He has to teach you not to rob God of his 10%. Right? But we're supposed to be in the covenant where we're supposed to know that already. So just food for thought for those of you out there that think we're in the new covenant already.
Right.
So we're gonna close it out with a what do I want to get? Because I don't want to read all that. We'll do this. So y'all should see at this point, right, that as far as the covenants are concerned in the Bible, starts first time we see covenant is with Noah in Genesis chapter 6. And it's a covenant for the whole planet, right? Then we see the covenant with Abraham. And that covenant is for his children to be circumcised, right? All of them. Then we see another covenant with Abraham, an everlasting covenant that will be with one of his sons, Isaac, right? And then we see another covenant made with Isaac that will be everlasting through his seed, but he has two. So then we see one of his seeds, the oldest one, just say, the hell with my birthright. I'm going to sell this junk because I want some soup. So the one that didn't sell his birthright gets both of them. And, that's who the everlasting covenant is with. So now we have an everlasting covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the seed of Jacob, right? So now Israel goes through what they go through, Exodus with the Egyptians and stuff, right? Most High takes us up out of the land of Egypt. We agreed to the covenant with him, make the golden calf go off. So then he's like, okay, we're gonna give y'all some judgments. It ain't just gonna be all hunky-dory, peaches and cream. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take off my belt. So the Most High starts whooping us, right? And he whoops us all the way until now, basically, when he gave brothers the opportunity to come back to the truth, wake up, follow the law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the belt to be taken off you behind. Let the welts heal up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And then keep the law and try to endure to the end. After your butt done been whooped, you're limping the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? That's the sin that we already carried throughout our life before we came to the truth. It's on us. So we hope that he forgive us for it, right? That he overlooks it, but it's there. So it's a scars we gotta walk with the rest of our life because we was just getting our butt whooped that damn long, right? So the question is, if we had to go through that and we supposed to be in the new covenant, how? How, Sway? Because we didn't know that we was getting our butt whooped for not following the law, statutes, commandments. Ain't that what the scripture say? Jeremiah 17:4. Thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage, the law, statutes, commandments, right? Hosea 4:6. Thou and thy people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You have rejected knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, you will not be a priest to me, right? Because you've forgotten the law of your Lord, I'm going to forget your children. That's what he said. So if that's the case, like, how are we in the new covenant? Right? So that must mean the new covenant can only be for what I said earlier. the lost sheep, like he says in Matthew 15:24, right? The ones who are going to endure to the end, who have been given grace and repentance, like it says in Acts 5:29 and 31, right? And then here, let's we got Zechariah 13 and 8, right? Where they speak about us being tried in the fire, 2/3 being cut off and die, 1/3 being left therein.
Right.
So what happens to the 1/3 that come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, endure to the end to be saved, right? Aren't believing that we're in a new covenant, aren't believing that the laws of the Most High have been done away for a law of Christ, which isn't the law of Moses, which Christ gave to Moses because he was the one. Yeah. Anyway, so like, why? I was going to go too deep for Milk Monday, but why? Why is any of that a thing if we're in the new covenant? You know what I'm saying? So it has to be understood that Matthew 15, Matthew 18, when he's talking about lost sheep, those lost sheep have to be the people who had a heritage that they were given by the Most High and lost their heritage, became destroyed because they lost their heritage. And now he's giving them a chance to come back to that heritage, right? The ones that choose not to come back to that heritage, the ones that chose to make that golden calf back in Exodus, right? That's who they're symbolic of. So those same people, the hard-headed Jake, that get saved and then 5 minutes after being saved act like they weren't saved, you know? So these people are going to be the ones who get killed. They're the 2/3. They get cut off and die, right? But the ones who try their best to endure to the end, Most High will, you get the gift of Revelation chapter 7. Let's read that right quick. And then we're going to close it out. That's the last scripture. Hope y'all was edified.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 1.
It's like Baba Kashai. We didn't get that much viewership today. I'm pretty sure we back blackballed again. So hit the like button. Baba Kashai. All right, go ahead.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
So and look, the servants of God are supposed to be sealed in their foreheads, man. This is before the new covenant. Where your seal at? Matthew Copeland, Creflo Dollar, TD Snake, Joyce Heyer. You know what I'm saying? All these different preachers and pastors out there. So where's their seal at? Right? Yeah, I know that's what this name tag on the forehead is significant, right? We're praying that we get there. We don't make ourselves that number, but you know, that's supposed to be the goal if you in this walk. You ain't supposed to be in here because hey, I'm an Israelite. No, we're supposed to be shooting for something. We're trying to be the top nation on the planet Earth again. And it's only 1/3 of us that's gonna get there. Right? So I hope that all Israel might be saved. Don't mean all Israel will be though. You feel me? So so like we have to understand that some of us gonna get thrown in the lake of fire. Some of y'all won't be coming back through the womb in the kingdom. It's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna go too deep on that because that conversation ain't for Milk Monday. But it's a lot of people who gonna be disappointed simply because they believe that the work that's still required to get into the kingdom, they don't have to do it anymore. And the reason they believe that is because they think they already won. They think as soon as they die, heaven came to earth, even though they're not on earth no more. So everything they believe don't make no sense, but it makes sense to them. So, keep reading that Revelation 7. We're going to close it out.
Verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Of the tribe of Judah was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000.
Right.
Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000.
Mm-hmm.
Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000.
Well, brother, go ahead.
Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000.
Yep.
Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000.
Okay.
Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000.
Right.
Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000.
Right.
Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our God, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb.
Yep. So look, I want y'all to see something right quick, right? Because we are a camp that I'm gonna just clarify something. We're not gonna teach it. Then I'm gonna answer a real Israel question, and then we're gonna hop up out of here. Don't worry, bro. You ain't gonna have to rewatch the question. I'm gonna answer the question. It's a real easy answer. But before I do, I want y'all to see, right? We are brothers who believe Dan is not completely destroyed, as some brothers teach, because as you see here, it clearly says that Manasseh will have 12,000, and then when you get to verse 8, it says Joseph will seal 12,000. If you know the Bible, Joseph is supposed to be Ephraim and Manasseh. So we believe that where it says Manasseh, it's supposed to be Brother Dan. It was a typo, brothers, as it says in the prologue, erred when translating things. They don't have the same strength when going into another tongue. So we working on a way to prove that, but I just wanted to go ahead and put that out there. Since it's Milk Monday, you know what I'm saying? Maybe y'all start doing some research for yourself. We do believe that Dan is supposed to be included in this, because it just wouldn't make sense for Joseph to have 12,000, and Joseph is 2 tribes, and one of the 2 tribes already has 12,000. Just don't make sense. Makes more sense to split them in half. 6,000 for Ephraim, 6,000 for Manasseh, making 12,000 for Joseph. And then Dan, since Israel is not supposed to be destroyed, whereas the sands of the sea, you know what I'm saying, which could not be measured nor numbered, how can Dan be gone? You know what I'm saying? So that's just wanted to put that out there. So yeah, bro, this is what we're pushing for, to be of this number, right? We don't dare make ourselves for that number or say, hey, I'm one of the 44,000. Respect me, bow down. You ain't supposed to do that, right? That's damn near blasphemy in my book if you look at it that way. But we are supposed to be shooting for this type of title, for this type of glory. You know what I'm saying? When you come into this walk, this is what you're supposed to want. This is the precipice of the heritage of the Israelites. This is the patience and faith of the saints. You feel me? So that's what we're supposed to be shooting for right there. Yeah, that's the thing, right? We haven't found that out yet. Who would be Dan today? So brothers is doing research trying to figure that out. Maybe y'all can help with that. All right. So real Israel, according to Genesis 27, 8 to 18. Yeah, that's what we didn't read. Esau sold his birthright to Jacob. That's actually Genesis 25, but Genesis 27 is when Jacob would have, I guess, as you said, tricked Esau out of the birthright. So it wasn't necessarily being tricked, right? It was already known. Here, let's go to Genesis 25. Read that right quick. Genesis 25.
From the top.
Nah. I
23.
guess 20 or 23, wherever Rebecca starts talking to the Most High.
Time. Verse 22. Not
And
verse
then,
20. I start at 20. And
right.
Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan Haram, the sister of Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife because she was barren, and Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived.
Mm-hmm.
And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
Mm-hmm.
And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the
Mm-hmm.
one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
Right. So look, the elder is gonna serve the younger, right? Not only this, Isaac was told. I mean, not Isaac. Abraham was told that only one of Isaac's seed would be getting the blessing, right? So it was already known by Father Abraham and Sarah, right, that their son Isaac was going to have one son who the covenant was going to be passed down to. It wasn't going to be to seeds of many, right, to seeds of one, as it says in I think it's Romans. So with that being said, Esau and Jacob couldn't get the covenant, right? It could only be to the one that, the covenant was for. It couldn't be to the one that came out first because Rebecca was told that the one that came out first would be serving the younger child, right? Which means that the younger child to Rebecca off rip is going to be the one who the seed is going to be passed down to for the everlasting covenant. This is already implied once we read this from Rebecca. You understand what I'm saying? She's not going to make sure the blessing goes to the first child because the first child, the Most High told her, would be serving the younger child. If their grandfather and grandmother, Abraham and Sarah, were already told, and I'm sure passed the knowledge down to Isaac, hey, only one of your seeds is going to get this everlasting covenant, right? You better circumcise both your kids so that we know which one it is, right? So, that's how it went. So he had to circumcise both Esau and Jacob because of the covenant that Abraham had made first, where he had to circumcise all his kids, right? But then it was supposed to be chosen by the Most High through his divine powers and stuff, which one of the two kids would be the seed that the everlasting covenant gets passed down to, right? The seed, the hint for that was supposed to be, like I just said, Rebecca being told by the Most High that the elder would serve the younger. So whoever come out first is not going to be who you make sure that the covenant goes to, right? So let's go to Genesis 27 now.
Genesis 27. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and
Right?
said unto him, my
So
son.
now, Salaki. So now Isaac is old, right? That's first thing. Isaac's old and blind. Second thing is Isaac ain't the one who the Most High told was going to be her, who was going to serve who. It was Rebecca, right? So Isaac don't even have the inside information that what's about to go down is about to go down, right? It was Rebecca, the mother, which is why she did what she did. It wasn't her tricking nobody. She literally did what the Most High told her to do, which is why when it came down to it, she said, let whatever sin or whatever punishment or judgment, whatever, come upon me. When Jacob himself asked, like, basically, is this gonna be trickery? Like, is it right that I'm doing this to Pops? She's like, don't worry, son. You know what I'm saying? Because she already knew that the Most High gave her permission to do this. Because he said specifically that the oldest child would serve the younger child. And she knows if the oldest child gets his birthright, right? Part of the blessing that Jacob was given when he stole it, quote unquote, or tricked Esau out of it, was that all his brethren would worship him and that they would serve him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if this was given to Esau, that would literally go against what Rebecca was told by the Most High, because she was told that the younger would be in control of the older one. the older would serve the younger. Right? So let's read. I'm trying to skip to the part where we get to see exactly what the blessing was. We know that they did the whole venison thing. Let's go to verse 18.
And then Genesis 27:18. And he came unto his father and said, My father.
Hold on. Hold on. Yeah. Let's jump to verse 12. And then after you read verse 13, jump to 18.
Genesis 27:12.
Real Israel, listen very carefully to this. Go ahead.
Genesis 27:12. My father, peradventure, will fill me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver,
Mm-hmm.
and I shall bring a curse upon me and not a blessing.
Yep. So this is Jacob literally telling his mom, "Hey, you know I ain't hairy like that other dude. So if Pops catch me doing this, I'm gonna be a liar to him for the rest of my life. Like I deceived him. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be a deceiver to my own Pops. Why are you making me do this? What if I get caught? Look at what Mama says. Go ahead."
And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son.
Why is she saying that? She straight up told him, "Hey, bro, don't worry about that. If there's a problem, it's gonna fall on me." Why is she so confident, real Israel, if it was a trick? It's because it was already predestined, right? Jacob was, if you want to call it that, Jacob was predestined to trick his father Isaac into giving himself the blessing because the elder was supposed to serve the younger. And Isaac was trying to go against that divine prophecy by the Most High given to his wife Rebekah and give the blessing to have all his brothers worship him and be able to rule over all his brothers. He was about to give that blessing to Esau, right? If Esau received the blessing from Isaac, Rebekah would have been disobeying the Most High.
Right.
Straight like that. So to prevent Rebekah from breaking the Most High's commandment and keeping the line intact where the oldest would serve the youngest, right? She had to make sure that the youngest got the blessing. And she did everything that she was supposed to do in that instance. From the fake garment down to the fake hair to everything. Only thing he didn't have to do was change his voice. You know what I'm saying? So what the brother say? But the elder is not serving the younger. We are serving Esau. That's because we are under the curses right now. There was a time called the Dark Ages where we did have Esau serving us, and they will do it again. Double cup, 2 times for the second time. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be for longer this time. And then afterwards, they don't get to come back no more. So, what more do you want? Most High is a just God. He's fair, remember? Just like he gave Ishmael a blessing, he got to give Esau a blessing. Since Esau didn't get to rule, he's letting Esau rule now. Hence why Job 9:24, the earth has been given to the hand of the wicked. Esau's getting his chance to rule since, it was kind of taken from him. The Most High is a just God. He's giving Esau what he wants, right? And as soon as Esau's time is over, as soon as the time of the Gentiles is being fulfilled, we're going to put Esau in his place. And the elder shall serve the younger again. So that's it. Hope you understood that. We are the sons of thunder Israelites. It is our hope and prayer and desire that all Israel might be saved. Shalom.
Shalom.